Jeff Greer covers the Louisville basketball team for the Louisville Courier-Journal, and he's kind enough to join us here on short notice. Summarize the past month, if you can, Jeff.
Wow, that's a tall task. This book kind of came out of nowhere. Louisville found out about it at the end of August when the co-author, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, came down to kind of go over the allegations in the book, and then with U of L, and they kind of sprung the book on them about a month later, and pretty much since then it's been quite a few players, former players, coming out and saying that Rick Pitino would never condone this or know anything about it. Rick himself has said that a few times, and to be totally honest, I mean it's cast a pretty dark cloud over one of the two really proud basketball programs here in the state.
Who is being accused of what?
As of right now, the accusations are that this escort, self-described escort, claims that the former director of basketball operations, which is essentially like the fourth assistant of the team, paid her and other escorts thousands of dollars, up to $10,000, and gave them game tickets, Louisville basketball game tickets, in exchange for dancing for and having sex with current players, or former players now, and recruits who were in town visiting U of L.
I guess the big question is, how does this tie into Rick Pitino, if at all? Do we have any paper trail here?
No, and that's kind of the key thing that we're going to be paying attention to with the NCAA investigation, which is now ongoing. And U of L hired its own internal investigator to look at it, Chuck Smurt, who is a compliance expert, a former NCAA enforcement staffer. So they're all looking into it. I think that's kind of the goal, is to maybe close some of the loopholes or connect some of the dots in this book's story to see, how much the higher-ups at U of L knew about it. But as of right now, there just doesn't seem to be enough credible proof to connect him to it directly. So it sounds like it was more farther down the staff. As of right now, we don't know all of the details just yet.
Has Pitino responded?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know you know Rick as well. I mean, he's a kind of guy who likes to be out front of things. He likes to, he's held a press conference. He had the annual basketball luncheon for, season ticket holders and fans. He's done a few radio interviews. I mean, he has been out and about talking about it. He's quieted down a little bit here the last couple days, but he has been adamant that, they would never support anything like this or condone anything like it, and that, the goal of the investigation is to find out what is true and what is not, and then, kind of proceed from there. But he's to his credit, he has been out in public about it and pretty upfront and open about talking about this whole thing.
What do you hear locally, though, about it, Jeff?
In terms of Rick, you mean?
Yeah.
It's still, right now it's hard for anyone to connect that dot. And I think it's going to be equally as difficult for the NCAA to do that. It's something where, there are 22 alleged incidents that occurred. Many of them supposedly happened at the basketball dorm on campus. But there seems to be that last level of disconnect between Andre McGee, who is alleged to be the guy who set it all up, the director of basketball operations, and anybody higher up the food chain. So as of right now, I think a lot of people are leaning toward it. It truly sounds like Rick didn't know about any of this.
Current players talk about this. Like, did this just stop? Went abruptly?
Well, the incident supposedly happened between 2010 and 2014. So it would have been 2 seasons ago. Would have been the last season that it supposedly was taking place, and that was.
But why would it stop, Jeff?
Well, McGee left the staff.
Okay.
He is now an assistant coach at UMKC and has been placed on administrative leave out there. So So I guess, according to Katina Powell, the escort who wrote the book, I guess things kind of slowed down after the summer of 2014.
I know you got a busy day ahead of you covering all of this. Jeff, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Absolutely, anytime.
That's Jeff Greer, Louisville Courier-Journal, covering this story with Louisville basketball.